We're in a secret location here in Birmingham this afternoon. David Cameron's about to arrive. Lots of Heart listeners are already inside and they're getting ready to ask him questions which are important to them.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Ed James from Heart Breakfast. Very nice to see you here. I can tell you it's been a while since I've worn a suit and a tie, but I think the occasion deserves it. As you know, the new coalition government has been in power now for nearly 3 months, and today is our chance to raise the issues that are important to us here in Birmingham. From the questions already posed online, they seem to be health, childcare, the armed forces, and of course the big society. So we've got the questions. Let's meet the man with all the answers. Please welcome Leader of the Conservative Party, Prime Minister of Great Britain, and most importantly, Aston Villa fan, David Cameron.
Thank you. Well, I was going to say thank you for that introduction, but it's great to be here, and thank you all for coming. This is my fourth public meeting like this, PM Direct meeting. I used to do these in opposition, called Cameron Direct, and we had about 80 of them, and I found it a brilliant way of finding out directly people's concerns and worries and issues and trying to answer their questions as best I could. And I think as Prime Minister, it's good to keep this going. All Prime Ministers get hopelessly out of touch in the bunker in number 10 Downing Street, so it's great to be out here trying to answer your questions.
Prime Minister, I'm a serving member of the UK Armed Forces.
What part of the Armed Forces are you in?
I'm in the RLC, Prime Minister. I'm a driver. I've just recently got back from the Falkland Islands as well. What I'd also like to know is more and more junior ranks are leaving the Armed Forces and not getting the respect they deserve for having served for their country. Can you please ensure that the people leaving the Armed Forces get the respect they deserve?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, let's show some respect. Look, I think I come into contact with our armed forces a lot, whether visiting Afghanistan, whether going around different bases in the UK, or just getting presentations, as I did yesterday, from some of our really talented commanders. I come into contact with them, and as Prime Minister, it's one of the things that makes you most proud of your country and what we stand for in the world and what we're capable of doing. You know, our armed services are magnificent men and women. They do incredible things, they show great courage, and they're also brilliant diplomats, because it's not wars these days of two armies facing each other, it's wars amongst the people, where you've got to be a great diplomat and try and manage the village shura and all the difficult situations you come into contact with. So they just blow me away with what they do. I helped set up a charity called Tickets for Troops, which was a simple idea. Let's get all... Have you used it, sir? What did you go and see?
I went to a local West Bromwich Albion match.
All right, cool. But that's what's impressive is, you know, we rang up all the football clubs, we rang up the rugby clubs, we got hold of the people who put on shows in the West End. Virtually everybody said yes, from Frank Warren, the boxing promoter, to Manchester United Football Club, to West Bromwich Albion. And this is providing lots of opportunities for organisations to say to our armed forces, we think you're great, come and see our show for free. Brilliant idea that I set myself. Now, it's got nothing to do with me, it's independent and running itself, but it's just like one example of the many things we should be doing to say we in Britain respect our armed forces and are proud of what you do.
No, I thought he answered it well, and I was very happy to get the round of applause. That I think not only do I deserve that, but other members of the armed forces deserve it as well.
And what in particular stands out from what he said to you?
The Tickets for Troops idea. I knew about it, but I didn't know that it was him that set it up, so I was quite happy to find out that it was.
I've got grave concerns regarding the impact with the drastic cuts in public funding. How will the government deal with the impact, and how, well, with regard to really the level and the quality of the services being cut and the consequences?
Well, you're asking, this is going to be a difficult question that we're going to have to ask across every public service, because we're going to have to make reductions and we're going to have to be more efficient and we're going to have to save money, and that's going to mean tough decisions. As I was saying to the gentleman back there, in every case we should be asking, are we doing this in a way that hopefully maintains a good service, or in some cases even improves the service? It will be difficult. There will be some cases where, you know, tough budget decisions will have to be made, but in every case we should be asking, can we do things differently? Can we do them better? And we shouldn't see this as some opportunity. It's not some one, you know, this is going to be difficult. But in businesses often find that as they try and get to grips with their costs, they find a different and better way of doing something. We've got to do that. And as I say, if it wasn't me standing here, it was Gordon Brown or Miliband or whoever, they'd be doing the same thing. We've got a budget deficit problem in Britain, and if we don't want to end up like Greece, we have to take action here ourselves to live within our means. Having done that, we can then have the strong economy that provides the jobs and the wealth and the opportunity we all want. It's going to be a difficult period for Britain, but we shouldn't think that it's all going to be doom and gloom. At the end of this, there will be light and hope and a better, stronger economy, and we must make sure we never get into this mess again where we're living so far beyond our means. And it falls to this government, and I'm glad, frankly, it's a coalition, because we've got to try and take people with us on a difficult journey. But if we do it, the country can come out stronger, better, with more well-paid jobs for more of our people, and that's what it should be about.
Tell us how you felt it went today with David Cameron.
Some reassurance. Obviously, we knew that the cuts were going to be drastic in the public sector. We also know all these savings have got to be made. I think I'm just still very, very concerned for frontline staff.
So, Ed, what did you think of David Cameron backstage beforehand?
It was really weird being backstage because he's the Prime Minister. He's the guy you see on the TV and on the news, and to actually be in the same room was scary, exciting. I was very nervous, but what a fantastic opportunity, and great that he was here in Birmingham to talk to us about things that are important to us in Birmingham.
And what did you make of him personally?
I thought he did really well. I mean, it's quite a small space, and there are quite, a lot of people packed into it. I was really nervous, and all I had to do was say, here's the main guy. But I thought he coped really well. He hadn't got a clue what questions he was going to get asked either. He hadn't, checked any of that, so he could have been asked anything. And I thought for an hour, he answered a lot of questions and answered them really well.
So it's the calm after the storm. We've been here at a secret location in Birmingham with lots of Heart listeners. They've been asking the Prime Minister, David Cameron, questions which are important to them. And having spoke to lots of people afterwards, it's definitely fair to say that he's left his mark on the city.
Thank you very much indeed for having me. Thank you for your questions. Sorry we didn't get through all of them. Thank you.